has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Matt Latter and today we'll be starting a new series. You can already see it here on the splash screen. We will be going to play Darkest Dungeon. If you have no idea what this game is or is about in general, you're in for quite a treat. The game is grandiose in more ways than I can really tell you about in quick. It's flavorful, it's awesome, it's roguelike with lots of death if you're not very careful. And the game itself is very strategic, tactical, which is right up my alley. And what makes this game more than anything else is the sheer awesomeness of its narrator. You'll get to see it in a moment. Let's go ahead and start a new campaign. We're gonna play with the Crimson Court DLC, which is the reason we're actually playing this. It's got released a couple days ago and adds a whole shit ton of new stuff to the game, so let's go with that. Same goes for the other stuff, that's all new with the Crimson Court, so let's go ahead. We're gonna play in the normal mode. Radiant is for a shorter and a bit easier campaign, more forgiving. And that's not something we want. We want to get beaten by the game. We want the game to kick us in the teeth and then we'll ask for more. So, we're gonna call this Darkest Letter, because why not? So, you'll be getting a cool video sequence in just a moment. Enjoy it, folks.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Jesus, I love that narrator. That guy makes an otherwise good game into a legendary one. He'll be speaking a lot throughout this Let's Play. Get used to his voice, get used to the sheer overkill epicness that is that guy. Okay, so here we are. If you don't know about the game, I will give you some quick information now and then. First of all, we have two people in our party. Right now that's Renault and Dismas. Renault is a crusader and Dismas is a highwayman, meaning he's got a pistol and a dagger and he can shoot people or stab them depending on where he stands. And Renault, our crusader, is basically frontline tankage. He will smite people, he will decree their sins and stun them and defend his friends. So, we're right now in this room out here, that's where you see the torch. And this down here is the dungeon view. We can click on which room to go next, only adjacent ones. Right now there's only this one.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The Hamlet is just ahead.
Ah, that flare. I've activated the subtitles. If you don't like them, let me know.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
So yeah, combat ensues. Right now we have a brigand cutthroat. You can see his stats if you hover over him on the right here. And here we have our abilities. We can use them only depending on where we stand and where the enemy stands. I'll get into more detail with that in a while. Right now we're gonna use Open Vein. It has an accuracy base of 95%, the norm. It does less damage than normal, but it applies bleeding. So, 8 damage and he's bleeding. 2 damage per round for 3 rounds, so 6 damage. He's got void points, he's already a dead man walking. But let's go ahead and smite him for good measure.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
And here we go. First combat successful, not that it was hard. And then there's these curios, as they are called, when you walk between the halls. And they give you options to do something. In this case, someone has camped here recently. Let's check the inside. Some valuables.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
We get some money, and then we come...
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Then we come to the entrance to the next hall, we click on it and we go in and...
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Ah, man, I love the narrator. Okay, so this time we have some different options. If you remember, 2 of them were grayed out the last time. So here we're gonna use the Grape Shot Blast. What it does, if you look at the yellow bubbles above the name, it means we can use the ability if we're in the middle 2 places. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 places. We're in the second, so we can use it. And we can also only use it on enemies in the first 3 ranks. And since the dots are connected, that means it hits all of them. You can also see that on the red plus here. Let's shoot every motherfucker. Yeah, that was a solid dodge. And now we're gonna try with a stunning blow. That guy is somewhat resistant to stuns, so let's hope here. He resisted. So you're gonna shoot us in the face now, and we dodge again. He also debuffed himself with that. He's now slower. Your speed determines when you get to act in the round, with some randomness involved, I think. So, this guy has 8 hit points. We do 4 to 8 with our pistol shot. And our grape shot does a little bit less, but it hits both. So let's go with that. The same applies for enemies, by the way, depending on where they stand. Depending on where they stand, they can use different abilities, like he can use Blanket Fire in the back. If I somehow manage to drag him to the front, he can't do that anymore, which is pretty great. So, let's try another stunning blow here. There we go, he's stunned. He can't act for this turn, but he also gets a stun resistance. Okay, we resisted another debuff by the Brigand Fusilier, and now we're gonna go with the pistol shot. Let's hope we deal... Well, forget about hoping, that didn't work. Let's smite that motherfucker in the face. And here we come to another important mechanic. Stress levels. Gonna go into some detail with that in a moment.
Diminished.
Ah, more debuffs. Hate it. So basically below the life bar you can see the stress bar. It goes up to 200. Once you cross the 100 threshold, your people go pretty much insane in one way or another, which will most of the time fuck you over. So you need to not only manage your hit points, but also your stress levels. And some enemies excel at simply dealing mental damage, like stress damage all the time. They don't care about your hit points, they just want to make you go crazy. Another dodge, come on! This is getting ridiculous. Let's hit a motherfucker in the face again. He's nearly dead. Some more stress, not much though. And we resisted the bleeding. Blanket Fire, by the way, hits everyone in your party, so it's a really vicious ability. Come on. There we go.
The fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Man, I need to tune up the volume of the game on my end. Like, I need to feel the guy talk, that's just...
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Ah, yeah, this is... I can't tell you how much I fucking adore that guy. The voice makes it so much better than it already is. Okay, we got trapped. Well, nothing to it. We've explored the dungeon in its entirety. Rather small one. Let's leave. So, we gain a quest reward, we gain collected treasures, all the food and other usables we will not be using up during adventure. We get some money back for that, and we collect heirlooms to expand, well, our Hamlet. Our characters level up as well, and they gain random traits. So Renaud is now a beast slayer, he is better against beasts. Dismas has satanophobia, more stress from the undead, but he's also meditator. So he can meditate while camping. Good. So, let's come to the Hamlet.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Sorry, took a quick drink there. So yeah, we get the activity log, what happens in every week. Every dungeon is 1 week. In this case, Renaud and Dismas joined, they both leveled up, and that's it. To the right, we have the goals for the campaign. And yeah, that's a shit ton of stuff. I'm not sure we're gonna do all of it. I'm not sure how much we're gonna play into this. I do hope to get actually a full playthrough going here, though I may pause it at some point. Just so you're aware. Okay, so this is the Hamlet. This is our dismal little town, broken and corrupted as it is. There's various buildings in here. Most of them we cannot access right now, as you can see. Complete more quests to unlock nearly everywhere. There's 3 things we can look at. The first is the graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Well, that's a word. Then we have the ancestors' memories.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
And here we will actually basically record the House of Ruin, the very first intro video. And I'll slap that before the video actually starts, because it is the greatest cutscene there ever was, so that shit is amazing. So yeah, lots of stuff still to be done. And then here we have the stagecoach.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Here we hire our new people. It will always, at the very first, be a plague doctor and a vestal. So let's hire them.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
So, next we're gonna upgrade the stagecoach. We can upgrade all the buildings by using the heirlooms we have. So right now we could increase the number of available heroes to 3 for every week. Let's do that. And we can upgrade the hero barracks so that we can have a maximum of 12 people. Right now we can have, I believe, 10. So no need to upgrade quite yet. So yeah, well, what's next? Let's check out our characters. So, Renaud, he's an apprentice crusader. There's the quirks. You can have, I believe, 4 or 5 of each positive and negative. Renault is a warrior of light, so if we're fighting in good lighting condition, we do more damage with him. The Beast Slayer we've already seen. He is God-faring, that means he can only pray for stress relief in town. And he's a kleptomaniac, he just likes stealing shit. Well, that's awesome. So down here we can swap his color palette as well if we care for it. We'll leave it at number 1. Here we see his base stats, his hit points, his dodge rating, the protection rating he has, speed values, accuracy modifier, the critical hit chance, and the damage. Down here we see his basic equipment. The basic equipment can be upgraded later in the smithy, I think. And over here we see the additional equipment we can grant him. These things give you additional bonuses and penalties, mostly both at the same time, and they can change how you go about the game pretty radically. Every character has 7 different skills and 7 different camping skills. These determine basically what he can do. We can learn these later in the guild, but right now we're basically locked down to the 4 we have here. So Smite is a up close and personal kill someone, more damage against Unholy. We have a Zealous Accusation. It does a fair bit less damage, but it hits 2 targets in the front row. We have a Stunning Blow, the name implies you stun someone with it, and we have Bulwark of Faith. Basically, you increase the lighting condition, you mark yourself, means enemies have needed that I'm hitting you, but you also increase your protection rating by 25%, meaning you simply take 25% less damage. There's also a Battle Heal, which can heal someone for some hit points. Holy Lance, which is only usable if you're in the back, and it actually moves you a bit forward and does some decent damage. And Inspiring Cry, which is basically just heal everyone a bit, reduce stress, and get the torch up and running. Pretty good selection of skills, actually. So next, the Highwayman. Right now he has a hard noggin, he's stun resistant, he's faster, he can meditate, he's a known cheat, so he's not allowed to gamble while in town. And the Saturnophobia he got. His stats you can see for yourself. His abilities in short are a Wicked Slice, which is a melee attack that can be used from nearly all the way in the back. A Pistol Shot, which is pretty good to reach the backlines of the enemy. We have a Point Blank Shot, only usable when you're right in front, and it does some decent damage and knocks an enemy back. The Grape Shot Blast we've seen plenty, it hits multiple targets. We have Tracking Shot. You barely do any damage, but you buff yourself for the following rounds with additional damage and accuracy and critical chance. We have the Duelist's Advance, meaning you basically move forward as you attack. You can use that in an interesting combo with Duelist's Advance and, Point Blank Shot. And lastly, Open Vein, which is kind of, you bleed targets. So, now we come to the Vestal. The Vestal is kind of like a cleric, you could say. A sister of battle, as the narrator called her so precisely. She's a precise striker. She is thick-blooded, more blight resistance. She has night blindness, so she's not good if the torch level is below 26. And she's mercurial, meaning she's got less virtue chance. We'll get into detail about all that a bit later. So she can mace bash some motherfucker in the face, she can call down the judgment and heal herself while doing so. She can use Dazzling Light, stun someone and increase the light levels. She has Divine Grace, which is a directed single target heal. And she has Party Comfort, heals the entire party. There's also Illumination, which is a ranged attack that basically debuffs a target's dodge rating. And Hand of Light. You can see for yourself, it's pretty handy. So, lastly we come to the Plague Doctor, who is also very interesting. He's a slugger, so more melee skill capability, which honestly is not good on any character. He's got natural swing, so +5 accuracy in general, which is good. He's light sensitive, he does less damage if we're above 75% torch, so not that great with Renault, but whatever. And he's got Thanatophobia. If he's got a little health, he's getting stressed the shit out. His abilities are Noxious Blast, which is just a directed poison enemies and let them die. The Plague Grenade hits the 2 enemies in the backline and similarly just spreads the plague. We have Blinding Gas, which basically means enemies deal 100% less damage for a short amount of time. And there's the Incision, which is, I think, his only melee skill, which does some decent damage though. There's Battlefield Medicine, you can heal someone and cure blight and or bleed from them. Very handy in specific dungeons. There's the Emboldening Vapors, which is just a directed buff, and the Disorienting Blast, which is a ranged attack again, that also clears corpses. We'll get into that again in a while. So, let's not fuck around some more.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
That it does indeed. So, this is the screen where we basically get to decide where to go. Right now, we only have two options. The Darkest Dungeon itself, which is... yeah, no. It's got the level Darkest. So, no. We go with a scouting job on an apprentice difficulty map. The only one we actually have right now. So, next we get to decide who goes where. Let me actually quickly check through my available abilities. So it doesn't matter who is where. Let's put you in the back. Let's put you here. Actually, this way around. Oh yeah, and you get some party names. In this configuration, they are the Red Hook. In this, the usual suspects. So, we have this selected. We have our goal here. Explore 90% of rooms. Test yourself in the mad realm of your fallen ancestor. Take note of how the creatures have taken over, but don't delve too far. It's a short map, meaning we don't get to camp. It's apprentice level difficulty, which is level 1. Our goal we already had read through, and we have rewards. Gold, some crests, which is one of the upgrade materials, and a move stone, which is one of these additional equipment items I talked about. So it gives you 10% move skill chance bonus, but reduces your speed. Let's see, we already have something, the Headburst Hood, which is for the flatulent only, which is the new class, so we can use it. Let's go to the provisioning step.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Awesome. So, we basically get to select our gear when we delve into the dungeon. We have 5,850 gold, and shit costs money. So let's go ahead, get 10 items of food, get a shovel, we already have an anti-venom and holy water. Let's get a skeleton key, and then we also get, say, 6 torches. That should hopefully suffice for the most part. I'm gonna add 2 more food. 12 is a full stack usually, if I remember correctly. So let's embark. Your first expedition into the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, be careful. That we shall be. So, we are in the dungeon as before, but this time you can see it's a bit larger. So let's go ahead and move to the next room. She's already getting some stress actually. So here we have our first curio. We salvage an unburned torch from this.
Waiting to be spent.
Not quite a fortune, but okay. Up here is our light radius. Whenever we move, you can see it goes down a little bit. And we have to use a torch to get it up again. We want to be over 75 most of the time. Let's go into the next room. We fight against 2 bone rebels, not too dangerous an enemy. And yeah. Let's disorient someone here. He's shuffled around, he's stunned, which is all great shit. Let's go with a blast here. He misses. Then we shall go with a dazzling light on the guy that's still standing and not stunned.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Yeah, sorry. I really like the narrator.
Back to the pit.
So, when you kill enemies, corpses are left behind. They play a vital role because, as you can see, they still take up a slot. If someone were behind, he'd not move up. So you need things like Disorienting Blast to clear corpses or attack them manually to get them out. Depends on how you want to do it. So, let's buff our highwayman here.
Inspiration and improvement.
Let's open vein.
Executed with impunity.
Nice. We get some money.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
And now that he said that, let's actually go ahead. I'm gonna need to put up the volume a little bit here. There, that should work out. So, here we have an unlocked strongbox. A long forgotten strongbox sits on the cold stone floor. Its contents unknown. So, since it's unlocked, we'll not be using a key. We'll just open the chest and we will...
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
We'll be finding a shovel, which is good, a journal page, and a boss. So let's check out the journal page. My end. I scrawl this, victim of cruel fortune, who took me upon my wager, for I have lost my luck coin, and I now lie helpless as my blood flows swiftly from my ruined body. My fingers are cold. It was no trap, no raving cultists that sealed my fate. We were ambushed by strange undulating shapes, two small entities that I cannot hope to describe, and a third, much larger beast. Poor Moira was crushed into pulp as Therion defended her. He soon lost his arm and his wits left him. Shambler! Shambler! He kept shrieking as Raven yanked him to flee. I tried to play hero, to buy them a few moments, blew away one of the smaller monsters. Last shot. Then smashed into the wall, the big one. Maybe they made it out. This is the journal of Darius, the Highwayman, the 6th of 6 entries. Okay. Well, that's not foreboding at all, right? Okay, and here we actually come to the first...
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
On the first location where we need a shovel. We could clear this by hand, but that will, for one, reduce the torch, pass a lot of time, and also stress out all of the people. So keep shovels at hand, is all I'm saying. Onward we march, and yeah, more fighting. This time we actually have an interesting enemy. The Cultist Acolyte is basically a stress-based enemy. He'll try to mostly stress us out, so let's plague him. Yeah, 4 damage per round. He's basically already dead man walking. But yeah, 19 stress in a single go. That's pretty dangerous. Let's nearly hit all 3. So we want the light to go up again. I cannot fell anyone here, so let's go with that. And I think, yep, we have a chance to a double kill here. We go with Salah's accusation. It hits both in the front.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Yeah, much better from the volume. And here we go. Next time he's up, he'll die.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
And a good bit of money on top of all of that. Let's go into the next room. What awaits us in here? Nothing. Nice, we've got a scouting roll off. Basically, from time to time you get the option to scout, which means that it reveals where are curios, where are combats, where are traps along the path lines, and what's in the next couple rooms. We'll go to the top one here first. We have an adventurer's pack, so maybe we'll see it happen. Not quite. More loot, a key, a portrait, and onyx. So remember that this guy is a kleptomaniac. He will sometimes just delve at the first best curio you see and declare, "This is mine." And yeah, you'll gain vastly reduced or nothing at all from the contents. Nice, we've got the enemy surprised because we have very great lighting condition here. So that means we'll act first. The entire group goes first. The accusation. Then we'll be going with this one. Good. Okay, we have the chance to perhaps kill someone. Let's go kill the guy, hopefully, that can do the stressful incantation. And no. One of our fails. Hard. Eek. Yeah, that is bad.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
And thus we get the first real combat going here. We're out of position and we're in danger, but with a lucky shot, they'll all be dead now.
Continue the onslaught.
Revenge.
Destroy them all.
Okay, so let's take everything here. And... wasn't there some default party order? There we go. Okay, so we have gotten Jade, which is 375 gold worth each. We have the blood. The call is unyielding, the urge is irresistible. Only the blood will quell this thirst. I guess that's something to do with the new DLC, the vampire-themed Crimson Court. Okay, so an heirloom chest with my family sigil. You can see it's tightly locked. Let's slap a skeleton key in here, and we unlock a hidden compartment.
Gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
We take all that good stuff, and then we move on. He'll be taking some more damage. 4 more rounds of 1 damage each. It's dark, let's light a torch. Damn. Ran into a trap.
Glorious is the Trapmaker's art, his efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
No matter.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Ooh, we've got a great scouting roll. All the way to the end. Okay, so this time we actually also know where a trap is. We've scouted it, so we know it's here. So let's actually check through who has the best trap skills. He's got 10%, 20, 50, and 20 again. So, we click and it's disarmed. Gives us hope. Hope reduces stress. Very important in this game. So, next room, next combat, let's see what awaits. A bone arbalist. Let's see if we can take him out somewhat quickly. He can do a shit ton of damage. Won't kill him either, so let's go with that. There we go, a quarrel. If it hits, it does some decent damage. That does a lot more. Let's see, come on, we'll take him out. We don't. Okay, so next order of business, we're gonna heal our highwayman. Another graveyard slash, deals a lot less damage to Renault. Another shot.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
1 falls. So next up we're gonna heal our Plague Doctor. Another 5 damage. He is dead the next time he comes up. Let's heal for 1. We critted and healed for 2, which is great.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
That was a great crit. Good.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
A holy fountain. An ornate fountain of holy purport. Let's let him use it.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
200 gold coins lay within. Now we're gonna do something new. We're gonna backtrack. If you look before, our light was going down quickly when we navigated to the hallways. But since these hallways are known, barely any light will lessen while we walk. And on we go, back into the unknown. Another pack. There we go. He whistles, and the pack contains loot.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
We lose out on 4 food, 2 busts, and I believe 4 crests. Well, yeah, that's kleptomancy for you. Hunger. The exertions of adventuring have produced a growing hunger amongst the party. We can eat 4 food and everyone regains 5% health. Sorry. Or we can eat nothing and have everyone take damage. So, we packed food enough, let's eat. Light the torch, go in. Well, our quest is already complete. We have explored 90% of rooms, rounded obviously, but there's a room battle with treasure and there's an obstacle here, probably something we can use our shovel on. Let's find out. Indeed so. And we want treasure and our group is still, I would say, nicely in shape. The light is getting problematic, but we'll deal with it. So, full fight at last, and we have a bone court here. They are also stress-based enemies, so let's try to take them out quickly. Another quarrel to the face. There we go, tempting goblet. Full 20. So, plague grenade some motherfuckers. So, the bone court here is dead. We need not worry about him. Once his turn comes up, he'll die. But there's plenty of others still about. And we best take care of them. Let's see, can we perhaps... Now let's focus on the Bone Arbalist. An Axe Blade. This mess is taking a lot of damage.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Oh, Death's Door.
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
He's on Death's Door. He's got less accuracy, less damage, less speed, and much more stress. Any blow he next takes can kill him. But we can also heal him. And he's no longer at Death's Door. He's recovering from it though. So, next... we want this guy to fall. Does not quite work. Next we try again for this guy. Still not able to kill him. He's got 1 more hit point, but he'll die as his turn comes up.
Their
Smite this guy.
is broken. Maintain the offensive.
There we go.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Okay, let's take all that good stuff. Let's look at the hidden compartment once again.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
More good things, and now let's end our quest. Yes, all the money. Feels good. Next. 2 more heroes on level 1. 3 new traits gained. Right now becomes a Cove Scrounger. More scouting chance in the Cove. Dismiss becomes a Backtracker. No stress penalty when walking backwards. Falaise becomes Robust. More disease resistance. Very good.
In truth, I cannot tell how much time has passed since I sent that letter.
Well, so, week 2. The tavern is now unlocked. The abbey is now unlocked. Falaise and Bonifant are now apprentice plague doctor and apprentice vassal. And our group was successful in exploring the ruins. Good. First goal ticked off. The next ones will take a lot longer to come into effect, basically. So,
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
in the tavern we have 3 options to reduce stress. In the bar, people can drink away their cares. In the gambling hall, they can thrill to win or lose. In the brothel, they can enjoy the pleasures of the flesh.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The abbey calls to the faithful.
And here we have the cloister, the transept, and the penance hall. In the cloister, our people pray and meditate. In the transept, they pray for a higher power. And in the penance hall, they flagellate themselves. So, let's go with Bonafide. She's quite stressed out. We'll put her into the cloister, where she can meditate for 1,000 gold. But hey, she is nearly broken with stress. So, she's not available for the next one. So now we go to the stagecoach again. And see, we have an antiquarian, a vestal, and an arbalest. That comes quite in handy.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting. She searches where others will not go, and sees what others will not see.
That sounds ominous. Let's increase our hero roster.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
Good. And with all that, we can continue delving onwards, but that will have to wait until the next episode. I do thank you all for watching. I hope you'll be enjoying this game as much as I do. I love this game to bits, so the narration is so great, the gameplay is a lot of fun, and if you're not careful, very deadly. We'll find out more about that in the coming episodes. Tune in again tomorrow.